So everyone trains their horses slightly different. However, I think one thing that most people can agree on is that violating a horse and calling it training is not normal. If you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. The mare I'll be talking about today is named Karen. So keep in mind the video that I'm going to show you was posted a year ago, so it is not the most recent. However, even old bad behavior deserves to be called out. This definitely was not the right approach, in my opinion, and I don't think it's appropriate for any horse. He mentions that this mare is dominant and aggressive and that her behavior needs to be corrected, and that part I can agree with.
How many of you watched the live the other day where she basically attacked me? It was kind of like an attack. She's done it a couple times to Becca in the field too.
From the actual live, we saw that he was hanging out with these horses, and when he tried to shoo her out of his space, she decided to kick at him. She didn't actually get him, but the fact that she tried is not good and definitely needs to be addressed, which, like I said, I agree. But as I mentioned before, the methods he uses for this horse are very weird. And yes, he says that these methods are not to be used for every horse and that he's only had to use them for like 4 horses. But I don't think they should be used for any horses. You'll see why.
People understand when they've learned about pressure and release and horsemanship methods that you still have to keep some other tools in your bag.
I do agree that different horses require slightly different approaches, but in general, things should be relatively similar because horses are horses. They're wired very similarly. And this behavior, this training that we're going to see is really just flooding. And nothing good comes from flooding.
Just tell you 5 minutes of hard work like this to make a horse start heading the right direction for the rest of its life is well worth any stress she's going to go through.
He said he thought she was going to bite him. I really don't think she was, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Throughout the other round pen time that I didn't show, he mentioned that he wants her to misbehave so that he can correct her here rather than out in the field. But now we have the actual quote-unquote method.
What I'm doing is trying to make her have a little bit of a stressful situation in her mind where she gives up and the adrenaline spikes and then dumps and then she submits, and I show her that, if I had to, I could eat her.
At this point in time was really where I was starting to question things, and I was like, what is he talking about? And it only got worse. Mind you, younger horses are more susceptible to injuries because not everything is developed, which makes this method all the more dangerous. His goal is to force her to lay down and then get on top of her, which is what happens next.
Okay, slide down now. Here we go. Good. Now, where the last begins. You know, I can just, nothing is safe. Stick your fingers up your nose, stick them in your ears, things that normally you wouldn't get away with. Get hold of their tongue. Let me see it. Behind it. Put your legs up on your tail root. I'm only doing this once today, so I'll just go ahead and take this off. Now, I got it. Probably only this once in life, really. Unless you ever kick at me again.
It doesn't take a genius or a horse person to figure out that what he's doing here is very, very strange behavior. Again, he mentioned that he had used this technique on a couple of other horses before, not just mares. But as a woman, I find this disgusting. He says that he loves this horse, but you don't violate things that you love. This is not helping your horse. If anyone thinks this is training, I'd encourage them to get a psychological evaluation and to stay far away from horses. He then proceeds to pray for her, claiming that he loves her so much as she's trying to kick him. This is not a happy horse. And even if the bad behavior does go away, it doesn't justify this approach at all. It's wrong. There's nothing normal about it. The mare fails twice to get up, and then the video cuts, and now she's up. A few weeks later, he takes her swimming to get her to submit again, and she's choking on water.
I should put the head thing on you. Can't see anything.
Oh.
She looks like a shark.
This is what's known as a chestnut mare syndrome. All the way.
My final thoughts are, obviously, I'm not a fan of this method at all, and I don't agree with it. And people are allowed to call out whatever they like. So that is what I am doing here. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.